Hey parents, thanks for joining us. We wanted to give you an update on a couple videos that we just launched or will be launching around the next couple of weeks, or we'll have just done this last week. I got Pastor Riley with us. He came to join us for our videos, but we decided with the number of things that have been happening lately in our society, in our community, that it was important for us to spend a few minutes talking about mental health and about suicide with our students from our church. And so if you go, when you look for our videos and you find them, you're going to find one that's about mental health and you'll find one that deals with suicide. Now, I know there can be some concern when addressing topics like this because you don't want to bring too much focus to it for the fear that it might plant the idea in someone's head. I don't think we're in danger of that. I think we are in danger of not speaking to an issue that many of our students are dealing with. And so let me encourage you as we're looking at this, that mental health issues impact a number of students. Matter of fact, I am often surprised at students that come to me after they've graduated that said, yeah, I really struggled with really difficult things when I was in 7th, 8th, 9th grade, and I really wish somebody would have said something to me about it. We're at a time in our society and culture, we're seeing record numbers of mental health issues across the board, record numbers of suicide thoughts across the board. And so we just thought it was time to deal with this from a church perspective. So I appreciate you taking a minute to watch here. We wanted to share with you a couple things that we feel could be helpful to you as you're dealing with this with your students. In my experience, most of the students that I've dealt with, the ones that are like, you would never suspect that something is wrong, those are typically the ones where there's some underlying issues that they are really dealing with there. And so I guess from a parent perspective, like what can you do to really engage your student? What can you do to encourage them and strengthen them in their walk with Christ and be able to deal with these issues in a proper way?
Well, I think as a parent, the best thing you can do is that you can model a Christ-like example. That church is an important part, and I know it's difficult right now with online and everything, but you know, whether you're online or whether you're face-to-face with us, you know, that still should be a part of your Sunday, a part of your Wednesday. It should be a priority. You should set, you know, the timer or the alarm on your phone, whatever, and hey, we're going to watch church on Wednesday night, or we're going to watch church on Sunday morning, or we're going to church, we're signing up for a service. So I think you need to model that, but church isn't the end all. They need to see you walking with Christ. You know, Deuteronomy talks about that, about how we teach our children while we're lying down, while we're standing up, you know, putting it over the doorpost and all. It needs to be a daily walk with you, not something you just do on Sunday, but it's something that we do every day of our life. They need to see you reading your Bible, talking about the Bible, praying more than just at meals. But I think beyond that, the spiritual aspect, I think you've got to keep those lines of communication open with your kids to be able to talk to them about some of these difficult things. And I know as a parent, that's not easy.
No,
those are difficult things to deal with, because you don't want to think your child would be dealing with any of that stuff. And but they are, and they need to know that there's acceptance when they need someone to talk to, that maybe you don't have all the answers, and a lot of times we shy away from that because I don't know what to say. But the guarantee that they can come to you is important, and the guarantee that you will find help for them, whether it's you or someone else, I think is very important. And it's not a shame. It's not something that you're looked down upon or whatever with that. So I think that's very important for our kids to understand that. And when their friends are dealing with that, I have found with my kids throughout the course of raising kids, when they say, hey, so-and-so, this happened, or so-and-so is dealing with depression, that's an open door to talk about it. They're opening the door. They want to talk about it. And it's not about them at that point.
Correct.
So I think those are some of the things.
Yeah, absolutely. That ability to gauge them on more than just a surface level, which again, if you don't have that relationship with your student, that's something that can be built over time. It's not a flip the switch, and this is just all of a sudden you ask them a question, they just open up everything about what they're dealing with. In my experience dealing with students here for the last several years has been that it's a relationship built over time, over consistent commitment and love. And once they hit that point where they realize that you're not going to rip their head off when they open up any little piece of their armor, that's when they truly begin to open up and say, okay, well, actually, I'm dealing with this, or this happened today. I don't know how I feel about that.
And I'm sure you found this out when that first starts. They don't want to talk.
Correct.
So they put on the tough guy or the tough girl or whatever.
Yes.
But you got to keep chipping away at that, you know?
Yep.
So it's not going to take, and the same is true with parents. I've heard so many parents say, well, my teenager doesn't want to talk to me. No, they don't want to talk to you right now. But they may over time as you're building that relationship with them. So don't give up, I guess is the key.
Yeah, don't
Just
give up.
keep chipping away at that. You know?
It is a process.
It may take
you several years.
Yeah.
Like, and again, so I really want to speak to parents that have students in middle school right now, because you're at a very critical point. A lot of these issues begin right now because they're going through some massive changes, not only physically, but also in a cultural, social context. And then you throw COVID-19 in the mix, where all of that is a mess. It's a mess for middle school students specifically. So don't wait. If your student's already a senior, it's not too late. Keep working on them, keep going after them. And we're not trying to come out to you and say today that if every student in our student ministry has an issue. We're not trying to say that either. We are trying to say is that this is more prevalent than what I think we'd like to give credence to. Sometimes we're scared of even dealing with this topic. And so it's worth getting to know your student well enough so that when something like this comes up, it can be dealt with in a proper biblical context.
And I think if you start talking to your kids about the little things in their life, when those big things come,
correct,
it's easier for them to talk to you.
Yes. Yep. So want to give you a few resources if you would like some help with that. Our church has a great resource called Right Now Media that has a number of videos and different studies and things that can help you and your family in this capacity, even some ones that you can do together as a family to get these conversations started. Also, if you like to read, I have a number of books that I can recommend to you, all from Christian biblical perspectives that would help you as you are guiding your teenagers through this years. I recognize that every parent has never done this before.
Sure.
For most people, they're trudging ahead unless you've got older children that have graduated and left your home. Then you kind of have an idea of what's going to happen. But if this is your first foray into teenage years, like you're stuck with however you were raised and whatever resources you can have at you. So we want to be here for you. We want to help you. Anything that we can do in that capacity, we're more than willing to do for you. So if it's just a matter of recommending some resources to you, we'll do that. If you just need someone to talk to, we're here for you that too. You can give us a call during the week in the office, or you can email or hit us up on social media. We'd love to talk with you and get to know you. Also, we want to be praying for you and your family. So if there's things that we can be praying for you about, please let us know. But we encourage you to check out the videos we posted for our students about mental health and about suicide. We think they could be great conversation starters for you. Thanks for taking a few minutes to watch. Thanks, Pastor Riley, for hanging out with us.
Thanks for inviting me.
We'll see you soon.